dear students. In the last class, we started our new chapter, Structure of Atom. There, we started with the concept of subatomic particles, and then we discussed about different models of atom. Isn't it? The first model that we discussed is Thomson's model of atom, that is the plum pudding model. Then we discussed about Rutherford's atom model. What is the experiment, his observations, and also the conclusions. In today's video, we will discuss about the drawbacks of Rutherford's atom model. So all of you just watch the previous video and then attend this session. So first we will discuss the drawbacks of Rutherford's atom model, then about Bohr's atom model. The next atom model that came was Bohr's atom model. The postulates we will discuss. After that, we will discuss about what is the subatomic particle neutron. Next, atomic number, mass number, and at last we will discuss how to notate an element, the notation for an element with the help of atomic number and mass number. These are the things that we will discuss today in our video. So, let's start the discussion. In the Rutherford's atom model, we studied that there are different postulates that he proposed. The first postulate is there is a positively charged center in the atom. That is called the nucleus. So, inside an atom there is a positively charged nucleus. This already we learned. And the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular motion. That is, electrons will revolve around the nucleus inside an atom. And the third postulate was the size of the nucleus is very small when it is compared to the whole size of the atom. These are the three postulates. Today we will discuss what are the drawbacks of that model proposed by Rutherford. So, when a particle is moving, a charged particle, when it is moving in a circular motion or in a circular orbit, it will undergo acceleration. During that acceleration, the charged particles would radiate energy. When a charged particle is moving in a circular motion, when a charged particle is moving in a circular motion, they will radiate energy. Thus, after that, when it radiates energy, it will finally fall into the nucleus. The electrons, when it move in a circular motion, it will undergo acceleration, and at last it will radiate energy and will fall inside the nucleus. So, the stability will be lost. Stability will be lost. But we know what atom is stable. We know the atom is stable. But according to Rutherford, when it is moving in a circular motion, electrons moving in a circular motion will radiate energy, and at last it will fall into the nucleus such that the atom is highly unstable. But actually the atom is a stable substance, or atom is stable, that we know. So this is the main drawback of Rutherford's atom model. So due to these limitations, the next model came, that is Bohr's atom model. The model that is proposed by the scientist Niels Bohr in 1885. And he got Nobel Prize for his work on the structure of atom. So, the scientist Niels Bohr got Nobel Prize for his inventions for the structure of atom. And he wrote many books regarding the structure of atom and also the theory of spectra, etc. No need to study, only study what Niels Bohr is the scientist who proposed the Bohr atom model, and he got Nobel Prize for his inventions in the structure of atom concept. Now, let's study about Bohr atom model in detail. The scientist Niels Bohr put forward some of the postulates about the model of atom. So the scientist tried to avoid these limitations of the Rutherford's model. The first postulate proposed by Niels Bohr is only certain special orbits known as discrete orbits of electrons are allowed inside the atom. So, electrons will only move in certain circular paths. only in certain circular paths the electrons will move. Okay, so electrons have only the permission to move in certain circular paths known as orbits. While revolving in discrete orbits, the electrons will not radiate energy. This is the important postulate proposed by Niels Bohr. When the electrons are moving, the electron has the permission to move only in circular paths known as orbit. And when the electrons are moving in only one circular path, they will not radiate energy. That is the second postulate that is put forward by Bohr. And he called these orbits by some of the letters, the orbit or the shells. So the circular paths, note down the circular paths in which the electron move are known as what? Orbits, or we can call it as what? Or shells. Okay, different shells. These are the names of the circular definite paths. And he denoted some of the letters, that is K, L, M and N shell. So there are different shells. K shell where N value is equal to 1 for the K shell, and L shell for which the N value is equal to 2. M shell and the N shell. These are the 4 shells where N equal to 3 and N equal to 4. So let's look. This is the model that is proposed by Bohr. Bohr atom model. The pictorial representation is this. Here you can see what the nucleus is, the yellow colored thing. Okay, this is the nucleus that is positively charged. That is proposed by what? Rutherford proposed that the nucleus is positively charged. So the electrons are revolving around in circular paths, and according to Bohr concept, electron can move only in certain circular paths. So the first N equal to 1 means near to the nucleus. The first shell is known as what? K shell. So for K shell, N is equal to 1. The next shell near to the K shell is known as L shell, for which the N value is equal to 2. The third shell is known as the M shell, for which N equal to 3, and the last shell is known as the what? N shell, for which N equal to 4. So electrons can move in these shells only. Okay, it cannot move. Electron cannot move randomly here and there. It can only move in certain particular orbits. They are known as shells. K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. And when the electron is moving in the circular orbits, they will not radiate energy. These are the certain postulates that is proposed by Bohr. And it is known as the Bohr atom model. You need to study the postulates of Bohr atom model. It is important. So, we have studied about electron and proton, isn't it? Subatomic particles are electrons and protons. Electrons and protons we have studied. Okay, the third subatomic particle that we will discuss. Subatomic particle means the particles that are present inside an atom. Electron is present, that is revolving around the nucleus, and protons are present inside the nucleus is what we studied. The third subatomic particle that we will study today is neutron. Neutron is discovered by the scientist Chadwick, and we will represent neutron by N. So, how we will represent electron? As E, isn't it? E minus we usually represent, and proton we represented by P. And third subatomic particle neutron we will represent it by small letter N. Neutron is a subatomic particle with no charge. So neutron does not have a charge. Proton has a charge, that is 1, isn't it? Neutron does not have a charge and mass is nearly equal to that of the proton. So mass of a proton and mass of a neutron are equal. And the neutron is present inside the nucleus. So you need to understand, inside an atom there is a nucleus, And so inside the nucleus there is proton and also what? Neutron present. Inside the nucleus there is proton and neutron, and outside the nucleus the electrons are present. So inside the nucleus there is proton and neutrons present. Neutron is not present in the hydrogen. So hydrogen does not have a neutron. Hydrogen only have what? One proton. So you should note down this point. Hydrogen only has one proton present inside this. Next, mass of an atom is what? We studied in Rutherford atom model. What is the third postulate? The mass of an atom is concentrated inside the nucleus, isn't it? So, the mass of an atom will be always the sum of the mass of proton and neutron. Mass, the whole mass of an atom is concentrated inside the nucleus is what proposed by the Rutherford. Now we understood what? Inside the nucleus present proton and neutron subatomic particles. So, what contributes to the mass of an atom? The sum of the protons and neutrons are gives the mass. So mass of atom is equal to sum of or is proton plus neutron. Mass of an atom is the sum of the proton and neutron that is present inside the nucleus. These are the important points regarding neutron. So you should revise electron, what is the charge and mass, proton, what is the charge and mass, and neutron, its charge and mass. Next concept is atomic number. What is an atomic number? Atomic number we usually represent by the letter Z. We already studied in the previous slide that nucleus of an atom consists of proton and neutrons, isn't it? Nucleus. Inside the nucleus there is proton and neutron. Atomic number is given by every atom has an atomic number and it is given by the number of protons present inside an atom. For an atom, the atomic number will be equal to what? The number of protons that is present inside the atom. What is an atomic number? The number of protons present inside the atom. So, all atoms of an element will have same atomic number. That means sodium metal. Okay. Sodium metal will consist of what? Many sodium atoms, isn't it? It will consist of many sodium atoms. I hope you remember the gold experiment, isn't it? Gold sheet will consist of many gold atoms. We have studied the experiment, Rutherford's alpha particle scattering experiment, where we used a gold sheet. Isn't it? Inside that many gold atoms are there. Similarly, if you are considering a sodium metal also, there will be many sodium atoms present in that. So each sodium atoms will be having same atomic number. That is the third point. All atoms of an element will have same atomic number. The elements are defined by the number of protons present inside the nucleus of an atom. So there are different elements, isn't it? Hydrogen, helium, etc. are elements. You know, nitrogen, carbon, etc. So each of that elements inside a periodic table, or each elements hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, carbon, etc. are defined by what? The number of protons present in it. Or we can say we can distinguish each elements by their atomic number. Atomic number is the number of protons, isn't it? So each elements will have different atomic number. Note down, each elements will have different atomic number. Hydrogen will have one atomic number. Helium will have different atomic number. Why? Because atomic number is the number of protons present inside the nucleus of an atom. So here is a table where different elements are given and their atomic number. Also the symbols. We have studied the symbol of the elements in the previous chapter. You should revise that also. Okay. You can see the first element here is hydrogen. The symbol is H. So the atomic number is 1. Next, helium, represented by He, atomic number 2. Lithium is the third element. Li is the representation. Atomic number is 3. Beryllium, Be, atomic number 4. Boron, 5B is the symbol. And atomic number is 5. Carbon, C. Atomic number is 6. Nitrogen, N is the representation. You know the representation already. Atomic number 7. Oxygen atomic number is 8. Fluorine atomic number is 9. So, you need to study all the elements. It's simple in the order up to atomic number 18. Argon is the element having atomic number 18. Chlorine atomic number is 17. Never confuse with atomic mass and atomic number. They are different. Atomic mass, the whole mass of an atom is the sum of protons and neutrons, isn't it? But atomic number is the total number of protons present. So in hydrogen, how many protons are there? Only one proton. In helium, how many protons? 2 protons. In lithium, 3 protons. So you should study all the elements in the order and their atomic number. Sodium is an element having the atomic number 11. Magnesium, what is the atomic number? 12. So you can write and study all the elements in their order and also their atomic number and symbol. This is important for you to solve the problems in this chapter. Study all the elements in the order: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and argon. If you study the order, then that will be in the order of their atomic number. Study the order of the elements and that will be the order of their atomic number. Up to 18 you need to study and write this table in your notebook. Now we studied about atomic number. The next thing is the mass number. What is a mass number? Whole mass is contributed by the nucleus. Isn't it? Inside the nucleus there is protons and neutrons. The whole atom, inside that there is nucleus where there is proton and neutron. So the mass number is given by the sum of protons and neutrons present inside the nucleus of an atom. Okay. The sum of proton and neutron will give you the mass number. We studied atomic number is the total number of protons only, but mass number is the sum of protons and neutrons. And sum of protons and neutrons is also known by the term nucleons. So what is mass number? Note down, mass number is equal to what? Number of nucleons. What is number of nucleons? Is equal to number of protons plus neutrons. Why? We know what atomic number. We already studied atomic number is the total sum number of protons only. Number of protons. So, make this thing in a box and study. Mass number is the number of protons plus neutrons, while atomic number is the number of protons. I think the concept of atomic number and mass number is clear for you. The next thing or the table is given here. We have in the last chapter itself studied about atomic mass. Just to revise, hydrogen, you know, atomic number is 1, atomic mass is 1. Similarly, helium atomic number is 2. 2 atomic number means what? Number of protons is 2. Atomic mass is what? 4. Lithium, it is 3 atomic number. Like that, it's the table given here regarding the atomic mass and the atomic number. Calcium atomic number is 20, while the atomic mass is what? 40. Chlorine, you can see the atomic number is 17, while the atomic mass is 35.5. Usually for this 35.5, the mass number is taken as 35 only. Okay. Correct atomic mass is 35.5, but the mass number we usually take it as 35 only. This is the mass number and the atomic number. You can see sodium, what is the atomic number? 11. But we studied in the last chapter atomic mass is 23 for sodium. Similarly, atomic number for magnesium is 12 while the atomic mass is 24. Now let's study how to denote or notation for an atom. Each atom, how we will denote. You can see here the symbol of the element we will write, and on one side we will write the atomic number below, and above we will write what the mass number. Is that clear? Symbol of the element. That means hydrogen symbol is H, carbon symbol is C, iron symbol is what? Fe. That we all know. First we will write the symbol, above we will write the mass number of that atom, and below we will write what? The atomic number. For example, take the first element hydrogen. Hydrogen, what is the symbol of hydrogen? H, isn't it? So first we will write H here. Next, what is the mass number of hydrogen? Hydrogen mass number is what? Is equal to proton plus neutron, isn't it? But hydrogen, already we studied, there is no neutron, only one proton present. So, hydrogen mass number is what? 1. Atomic number is what? The number of protons, isn't it? So, 1 itself is the atomic number of hydrogen. So, this is the notation of hydrogen atom. You can see here, this is notation of hydrogen atom. Take, for example, carbon. How we will denote? So, you can write it in your notebook. Carbon, the symbol is C, isn't it? So, first we will write C. And for carbon, what is the mass number? Carbon atomic number you have already studied. I told you to study the elements in order and its atomic number. So, atomic number is what? 6. And the mass number for carbon already studied in the last chapter, that is 12. That is carbon C612. Atomic number 6 and mass number is what? 12. The next example is nitrogen. Nitrogen, the symbol is what? N. First we will write the symbol. On the above side we will write what? Mass number. 14 we studied, mass number or the atomic mass of nitrogen is 14. Wasn't it? Next, I hope you remember nitrogen is 14 is the atomic mass. And the atomic number is 7. So this is how we will denote nitrogen. So today I will give you a homework for all the elements. So here you can see, write all the elements: hydrogen, helium, lithium, etc. Their symbols you know, isn't it? Atomic number is given. You can find the mass number from the other table and you should write their notation. Isn't it clear that? Is that clear for you? For example, okay, consider chlorine. Chlorine symbol is Cl. That is already given here. And also atomic number is 17. Below you should write the atomic number 17. Mass number you can take it as 35. So this is how you will represent chlorine. Okay. Next, for example, you can take silicon. Silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Write the symbol and its atomic number and mass number. And write the notation of all the elements. Try to do this and come for the live session. And in the live session, we will also do problems, more problems. You should correctly understand what mass number is: the sum of protons plus neutrons. And atomic number is the total number of protons inside the nucleus. So today we have studied the drawbacks of Rutherford's atom model. Next we studied what is Bohr atom model and about different shells also, K, L, M and L shells. Revise that. Then we studied another subatomic particle, that is neutrons. 3 subatomic particles are there. Study about 3 of them. What is an electron, proton and neutron. After that we studied atomic number, total number of protons present inside an atom, and then mass number, that is the sum of protons and neutrons present, or we can say mass number is what, the number of nucleons present inside an atom. In that class we studied how to denote or the notation for an element or an atom. First we will write the symbol of the element, and on the top side we will write what is the mass number, and below bottom we will write what is the atomic. So students, we are going to conclude today's session. I hope you understood all the topics. If any doubt you can comment below. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice day.